Hello, friends. My name is Steve, and this is Steve Talks Books. Thank you for coming by, watching my weekly update. It's where I talk about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, what I won't get to, and everything else in between. If you'd like to connect with me, the best place is on our forum at pagechewing.com. So we organize all of our bookish shenanigans and have a bunch of cool discussions. We have some clubs going there. Lots of things going on there. Lots of activity. I'm having trouble keeping up sometimes. I can also be found on Vero at that one MFer. And I'm on the 365-day challenge, so I post a photo. I take and post a photo every day there over on Vero. So if you'd like to, that's more of the non-bookish related content, more of the like what I'm listening to, what I'm watching, other random stuff. And I want to thank a couple of you who reached out to me the last couple of weeks. It's been it's been a rough second half of December for me. So thank you for those of you who reached out and to check on me. It means a lot to me. So thank you for doing that. It's a really great community, and it continues to surprise me. So thank you for those of you who did that. So without further ado, let's get into it. The last weekly update of 2022. Let's talk about it. So I didn't have an update last week. So since then, I finished The Sword of Mercy and Wrath, and that discussion was moved to January 18th. So if you want to join that discussion, whether on stream or in the chat, you are welcome to. It's Wednesday, I believe, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific. So if you haven't read it, I want to join. There's some time. We had some conflicting things with our schedules, and we decided to move it a couple of weeks, or a few weeks. So it got moved. Since then, I also started and finished Brother Red. It's the third book of Adrian Selby's, and they can be read as standalones. But after reading The Winter Road and then reading Brother Red, I would suggest reading them in order if you can, starting with Snakewood. And I haven't read Snakewood yet. I'd talk more about this on my top reads of 2022, but so I love Adrian Selby's writing. Just starting that book, just getting into it. As soon as I started reading that book, just his prose and the way that he develops characters and worlds, and his characters are stellar, and his action is great. I just felt like, you put on that old comfortable sweater, like you put on that old comfortable sweater. It just feels good. That's just the way I felt starting Brother Red. It just felt like I was back in a comfortable place, like you felt like you're visiting an old friend kind of thing. So I loved Brother Red. We did have a spoiler-filled discussion with Adrian on that book. So if you've read it or don't mind being spoiled, that's available for you to watch. We did meet with, and Layla, our friend Layla, discussed Brother Red with me and Adrian Selby. I can't speak today. So I also finished The Judging Eye. It's the first book in the Aspect Emperor series, and there is a lot of, I think I mentioned, there's a lot of building, a lot of things that are, there's a lot of things that are building up, and sure enough, in the end of that book, it was exhausting. There's a lot of things happen, and it was intense, pretty intense. Baker just has a way with words, and he just has a way of just adding in just a few words into a paragraph that can reveal so much. He has incredible writing ability. It's wild. But that book was, I was enjoying it, but at the end when it was over, I was like, wow, that was pretty good. So it's up there. I think it's not my favorite book in the series, but it's up there. It's close. Well, I've only read 4 of them, so it's not like there's many to choose from, but you know what I mean. And I did read a little bit of The Healer. It's a beta read that I'm doing. I just haven't had a ton of time to do the beta read, but I'm still chipping away at it. I've also been listening when I can to Come With Me by Ronald Amalfi. I'm almost done with that one, so I'm really, really close, and we'll be scheduling that with Lady Jane Books to have that discussion hopefully soon. I will be starting The White Look Warrior this week. We'll be doing the first 3 chapters on the podcast. And in February, we are skipping a couple of weeks for the podcast. We're hoping to finish The White Look Warrior in January before we take a break. But some of us are traveling and doing some other things. So we won't have a podcast for the Aspect Emperor series for a few weeks. but I'll update everyone when we get closer. But we for sure are taking at least like 2 or 3 weeks off as a break, just because things are, real life stuff is going on. So we won't be doing that for a few weeks. But hopefully, the White Look Warrior we can finish. Also, I did start the 11th cycle by Kian and Ardalan. So I'm about 15% in, and that's been enjoyable so far. Everyone raves about it, so I'm excited to continue on that one. I hope to I have to finish that by next week. We'll be having that discussion next weekend. So on to the channel stuff. On the Friday conversation 2 weeks ago, we did chat with Chris Moen, AJ Retker, and Mahir from Fantasy Book Critic, and that was a really laid back, kind of free. It's always kind of freewheeling, but it was just right before Christmas. Everyone's kind of busy. It was just like a whoever wants to come can come kind of thing. And then this last week, we did have the Friday conversation with Shauna Lawless, Joao Silva, P.L. Stewart, and Chris Moen. And it's fun just to unwind from the week with these. So that was another fun one, the last one of 2022. And I'll talk if you watched last night's or Friday night's stream, then you know that there's some changes coming to the Friday conversation. But I'll discuss that here in a few minutes. Get a little bit more detailed. So also on the channel last week, I did have my top 15 books of 2022. Thank all of you who have watched that and commented. And when I watched the video back, it's like, damn, I'm a miserable person or something, because every book is dark and dreary and emotional and like just all this. I don't know. I wonder, because I've been told by a few people. They've told me, like, I DNF'd this book because it was too much for me. I think you really like it. Or I've talked to some authors who are like, I said, well, what's your book about? Or like, oh, you wouldn't like it. It's not very dark. So I think I'm getting a reputation for myself with all these dark books. But what can I say? It's just what I enjoy. So hopefully you're along for the ride. And on my channel, I did have a couple of you mention that the list was varied, like it was unlike other lists, and that made me really happy because I try to read different things. I try not to read the same thing that everyone else is reading, not because I want to be anti or because I want to be different. Those just don't interest me. So I'm trying to read what's interesting to me and what I enjoy. So that's what I look for. I'm not trying to just read a series because it'll get a lot of views or whatever. I read what I enjoy reading and what I'm excited about. So also last week we did have some reading sprints, and this is kind of a last minute thing. I was at work and I was getting out and my plans were canceled for the afternoon, and I just thought, well, I'll go home and read. And I thought, well, why not just hop on and do some reading sprints? It's kind of a last minute thing. And I had been having some trouble focusing because my mind was wandering and I was thinking about other things. And I couldn't focus, and I couldn't like get in the right mindset. So I thought maybe this will help me. Maybe this will help, and maybe one or two people will hop on and we'll chat, or we'll get some reading done. And that really helped me focus and kind of get in it. And it was a lot of fun chatting with all of you. Thanks to all of you who hop on. It was so much. It really lifted. It really was really what I needed at the time. So I did have another one on Thursday just because it was so much fun on Tuesday. So there'll be more. I think I'm going to do one a week at least because I sit here and read anyway. Like, this is where you typically read. I just lean back and I just sit here at my desk and read. So I figured, why not just hop on? And I think I get about as much reading done on sprints with all of you as I do by myself, because then I get distracted, or there's all these other things distracting you. So I think I get about as much reading done on sprints, so it's like, makes sense. And those of you who have watched after, I didn't know that people did that, but that's awesome. That's great. So I'm glad that people are enjoying them, and I plan to do them more often now. And coming up on the channel this week, we will have the Judging Eye. We'll finish up the Judging Eye on the podcast with Daniel and Katerina before getting into the White Luck Warrior. And also I will have some reading sprints this week again, and also no Friday conversation this week. It is the Friday before my birthday. My birthday is on the 11th. So I'm going to spend time with some friends and get myself into some trouble on Friday night. So going to go out and blow off some steam and have some fun. So no Friday conversation this week. I'm taking a break. I guess it's a good time to mention. We PL and Taylor and I met a couple of weeks ago. I think it was the day before the Travis Baldry episode, and we met and we were discussing guests and trying to figure out like guest lists and plans for 2023, and kind of where we're going. And we have a list of like 50 people that we're trying to get on page tuning. And of course, it's a great problem to have. It's great to have people who are willing to come on. The problem is that we all live, Taylor lives across on the other side of the world, and it's hard for all of us to schedule things sometimes, and work schedules and all that stuff. So what we decided is we're going to change the Friday Conversation to page chewing Friday Conversations. So what's going to change? Not a whole lot, really. It'll still be the same format, still be the same feel. The only difference is the title will change, and PL and or Taylor will be there more often. So we do have a list of all the guests, and I'll still be doing scheduling for it. So I'll be scheduling here in January soon, and going through our guest list and trying to book some guests. I do have a guest that is not in the book sphere, but someone who's been very, very inspirational to me personally. And I've been in contact with this person, and I think he's going to come on a Friday Conversation in January when he gets back from some travels. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm really, really excited to share that news, but it's not confirmed just yet, but hopefully soon. So fingers crossed it works out. Also soon, I will be launching another channel. It won't be book related. I know I talked about doing like a comic book channel, but I think I'll roll in some comics into this channel just now and then. But this other channel won't be book related, but I'm really excited to start it. I just want to make sure that I have enough content before I launch the channel. So as soon as I launch it, of course, I'll let everyone know. And if you'd like to go check it out, of course, I would appreciate it. It'll be one or two videos a week, and they'll be short. They won't be very long. So it won't take away from this channel. Still be doing the same thing. And I'm trying to be smarter with my reads and with my commitments, so I can squeeze in more time for this other project. But once I have about a month of content, then I'll let everyone know when it's ready. And kind of, I don't want to launch it and then it be crickets. So I'm gonna have about a month of content ready, and then once I do, then we'll give it a launch. But I'm excited to talk about it, but not ready quite yet. Some of you already know about it, but excited to talk about it. Also this year, I have been talking to a few people about attending I have to look that up. Can't remember this acronym. IAFA in Orlando in March. So I will be going to that. I'm going to do everything I can to get there. There's so many people that are attending that I want to meet, and I have been talking with a couple of people about what I have to do, how do I get there, things like that, like how does it work. So I will be doing that in March, unless something major happens that I can't. So excited for that. So if you're attending, I'd love to meet and to talk fantasy. So it sounds like it's the kind of con I would really enjoy going to. So fingers crossed it works out. Fingers crossed. And so I have to talk about something that I'm not too proud of, because I've always tried to avoid conflict with Booktube and with YouTube, and I've always tried to avoid the drama. But I have to say, friends, that I have been involved in some Booktube beef. Yes, it's true. The rumors are true. J.R. Carroll, or Joseph Carroll, he and I are in a Booktube beef. Of course, I'm joking. It is beef, but it's friendly beef. So, Joseph is a Bengals fan, and he's a big Bengals fan. So when I came onto his channel to talk on his interview series, we talked about football, and he was talking about the Bengals, and I teased him a little bit about Carson Palmer that year. That is, if you know, you know. Anyway, so I'm a Bills fan. I'm a huge Bills fan. I have been for years. I've suffered through all those seasons of really, really bad football. Finally, they're decent. So we have a bet. I challenged Joseph, laid down the gauntlet, and bet him that if the Bengals win, I will wear a Bengals shirt on one of my next update, or a hat or something. Or when the Bills win, he has to wear a Bills piece of apparel, like a hat or a shirt or something, on one of his videos. So that's our bet. So cross your fingers for me that I don't have to wear a Bengal, something Bengals related. We made this bet a few weeks ago, and it's finally here. So root for the Bills for me. Send out the positive mojo. I don't want to have to wear a Bengals shirt, but we'll see. So Yes, it's beef, but it's fun beef. So, yeah. So, my question for all of you this week is: if you have any New Year's resolutions, do you have any New Year's resolutions or goals? I used to see there was one year in my life that I had a really tough year, and I kept telling myself just make it to New Year's Day, just make it to New Year. And that was kind of my mantra. Like I just had to make it to New Year's, and everything is going to be okay. And I just had to the New Year, and it was just like when that clock finally turned over, it was like all this pressure and tension went away, and it was like, oh wow, I feel so much better. And it was like one of those moments in life where you just feel like a weight's off your shoulder. You know, like you feel like you can start again, or you like a clean slate. Well, didn't take too long that you realize that all the problems didn't get the memo that the new year started, and so you still had some stuff to deal with. But it is nice to have that kind of reset feeling, and like you can start over again. You can kind of start fresh. So it's nice. Now I kind of see it that way. I kind of see like a new like a reset, like a way to restart and kind of realign and reevaluate and that kind of thing. So what are your feelings about New Year's Day? Do you feel like that? Do you feel like it's a new day? Is it a new year, a new opportunities? Or are you like me and just think every day is a new opportunity? Every day is a fresh, clean slate to change things. At least that's the way I try to be, but I'm not always successful. So I don't really have reading goals. I don't really set goals like that for myself. I just try to make the most of my time and just have fun. So, but let me know down below if you have any resolutions or goals and how you view New Year's. Is it a new start or is it just another day of the week? And I will be having a giveaway. So the way it's going to work is you choose one of my top 15 books of 2022. Comment down below with the title that you would like, and I will be picking 3 winners. And whichever 3 winners I pick, I will send that copy of the book to you, either paperback or ebook. So comment down below with one of the books I chose in the 15. If you do choose the Hay Bale, then I will send Dog Meat by Priscilla Bettis with it. So I'll send Dog Meat and the Hay Bale to you. Or if you choose Orchards, I will send The Wild Dark and Orchards to you. So that way you can read them together, because the novellas are like short. So I think even the Hay Bale is a novelette. I think I misspoke on my top reads video, but comment down below. If you post on the forum, I will have a forum thread for that. If you post on the forum, you'll get an extra entry. So that's a way to increase your chances. If anyone enters, you can win one of my top 15 books. Just let me know down below with the title of the book, and that'll enter you in the giveaway. And then next Sunday, I will pick 3 winners and get in contact with you and send those books over to you. So how are you doing? What are you reading, watching, or listening to? I have been listening to a lot of Phantogram lately. It's almost been on repeat for me. And I think I've always enjoyed Phantogram, but I think I'm getting a newer appreciation for it when sometimes you listen to music and you don't really listen. Sometimes, and then other times you kind of pay a lot more attention to it. So it's been something that I've been paying more attention to and having a higher appreciation for it. And also I had to look this up because I forgot the name of the band. There is sometimes on YouTube you can find these bands who post their albums on YouTube and you can buy the album digitally. There's a band called Kardashev, and it's an album that was on YouTube. I went out and bought the digital version of the album on their website, and I've been really enjoying that. I think it's not really like heavy metal; it's heavier, but it's a little bit more atmospheric. There are some heavier tones in it, but been enjoying that too. So I've been listening to lots of music lately, and been enjoying. Those are 2 that stick out to me that I've been listening to a lot. Also, we did watch. My son wanted to watch Highlander, and I've never seen it before. I watched the TV series back in the '90s, and that was it was always on. So I watched it a lot, and I thought it was okay. It was fun. So I'd never seen the movies though. So when he said he wanted to watch it, we fired it up, and I try to go into these movies and remember when they were made, and remember the special effects are going to be cheesy, and you kind of have to put the movie in the time it was made. You have to kind of place it in that time and realize, okay, this is cheese, but at the time it was cool. So you have to look at it from your 1986 perspective. It wasn't made in 2022 or 2023. It was made in 1986. So keep that in mind. But wow, there's some bad movies. There's just, I think we watched some of these movies when we're young, and we really enjoy them, and we have this nostalgia for them. But when you rewatch them, some of them just don't hold up. They're just, you think someone, I don't want to spoil anything for a 40-year-old movie almost, but, you think someone who's been alive so long, who's been fighting for their lives and killing other people to survive, you would think that he'd be a little more coordinated and like, a little bit more, I don't know, athletic, or just, the action scenes are you really appreciate the action scenes in the newer movies because the actors take it a lot more seriously, and they kind of commit to it. Like they really commit to the action scenes, and they really, they want to make it look realistic. And, but the acting was really wooden, and it was cheese. I'm sorry for those of you who like that movie. It just, I really tried. I kept telling myself it was made in 1986. Just relax. But it was, I don't know. So thanks again for coming by for the last update I guess it's the first update of 2023 when this posts. So yeah. So thanks for watching the first update of 2023. Here's to another year. Thank you all for your support, for your friendship, for everything. Thank you so much for your time, for coming by and spending time with me, whether it's on stream or in the comments or anywhere else. Thank you for spending time with me. Time is precious, and what we do with our time is important, and that's the most valuable currency we have is time. So thank you so much to all of you for spending time with me this year, and hopefully next year will be even better. So until next week, or until the next time I see you, whenever that may be, I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and until next time, we'll talk to you soon.